joining me again on this episode of Plant Maya Flowers, everyone. So we have another cactus that I'm going to be introducing you to. This one has one of the longest and most difficult names that I have pronounced, so I'm going to give you the scientific name first. It is Austrocylindropuntia subulata.
Austrocylindropuntia subulata.
Or we could call this plant Eve's pin cactus. Eve's pin cactus. Not humongous to any degree. It is a smaller type of cactus. It does have thorns on it. They're very tiny and they get stuck in your fingers very easily. Handle with care, gloves if necessary. Honestly, you shouldn't really be manhandling this one too much anyway because its tiny little spines on the end here are also very delicate, so you wouldn't want to break those off on accident. It does, have some additional growth on the top here. I'll show you how it looked when I first got it. My Eve's pin cactus is actually, I want to say, about 18 months old. I got my Eve's pin cactus about 10 months ago, and since I've gotten it, it has grown a little bit on the top here. As far as lighting goes, it is a cactus, so it needs high direct light. Now, this plant, I read that if it is not getting the light that it needs, it will not succeed as an indoor plant. Have it being watered, honestly, right now, I want to say once every 2 weeks. You can tell when it needs to be watered because it'll kind of shrivel up. When I say it'll shrivel when it's too dry, in like the glossier parts that you see up here, it actually looked wrinkly like how your toes look if you're in the tub too long. And it's a sure sign that your plant needs some water. So that's when I would go about filling the soil or covering the soil evenly with a good amount of water and letting that seep through the pot so that it can be replenished and it'll plump right back up to how my plant looks now, because before it was a little wrinkly. These sprigs here, they've gotten pretty tall over time, and I like that, you can see the growth and the progress. Overwatering is one of the main killers as well, so you definitely have to monitor how much drainage your pot is getting and how frequently you are watering your cactus. It does not need to be watered constantly or frequently or even every other day. It needs time to absorb that water that is in its soil completely, and it needs a good drainage system so it's not holding that excess water at the bottom of the pot. I do not have a hole at the bottom of this pot, unfortunately, but to create a barrier between the soil and that additional excess water, I did fill the pot with about this much with pebbles that I got from, outside, to be honest with you. And then I filled the rest of the way up with cactus and succulent soil while planting in my cactus as well. But that allows it a barrier so that if I do happen to give it a little bit too much water, too much love, that excess water sinks down into the pebbles and not staying in that soil, keeping it moist, because that is what causes root rot. So if you are overwatering any of your plants and you notice that they're drooping and then all of a sudden they completely just unearth themselves, everything looks black, it looks dead to the point of no return, honestly, that is called root rot. My favorite thing about this cactus is just kind of the chaos in which it grows its limbs. It kind of grows them in all directions. You never know what to expect. The Austrocylindropuntia subulata is a common houseplant. So just because the name is super complex doesn't mean that it's hard to care for. As you can see, everyone can learn how to take care of an Eve's pin cactus. It actually doesn't need as much care as some of the other plants that I've shown on my channel. Speaking of which, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Take a look at some of my other posts as well. You'll come to find I know a little bit about a few different plants, and you could try and experiment with some of them yourself. Until next time, I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you on the next episode of Plant Maya Flowers.